Hi, I'm Michelle Massey from the Center for Hospitality and Culinary Arts at George Brown College. Today we'll be making a warm, delicious, festive cocktail, hot buttered bourbon. It's made by blending a mixture of sugar and butter. It's usually brown sugar, butter, and some spices. Here we have a gingerbread spice mix, which is just a mixture of cloves, allspice, cinnamon, and ginger. It usually calls for about a tablespoon for the amounts that we have here, but I usually like to sort of bump it up a little bit and just to make it a little bit spicier. And then that, of course, has a little bit of bourbon in there as well. And then it's all topped up with a hot mixture. You can use whatever you want. Today we are using a mixture of tea and milk, but some recipes actually call for cider as well, which is great because it's a very, very strongly favored mixture, even without the bourbon. So it means everybody can have a little bit, just leave the bourbon out. It tastes great with just the milk and tea or the cider. I'm gonna take the butter and the brown sugar and just kind of blend those together. You can do this in a mixer, but a wooden spoon works really well. Okay, now if you are big into holiday baking, you probably have all of these ingredients around anyways. Nice glug of vanilla there. So you just want to mix this all together until it's nice and smooth. And the nice thing about this is great for gifting. And I have a little bit over here. So you see, it holds, you can make this well in advance. I've just packed a little bit into a jar. And it would be a lovely gift along with your bourbon, of course, and maybe even some gingerbread cookies. And I will be using those as a garnish for our finished drink. So it's sort of a nice little cocktail kit that you can give people. Now we're going to move on to the good part. We're going to actually make the drink. Because, just a few sort of safety notes at the beginning, because we're working with a blender and hot liquids, you want to be careful that you don't overfill your blender. And usually I like to have some kind of a towel or something to go on top, because what happens when you're using hot liquids in a blender, as soon as you turn it on, it usually expands very, very quickly. And that's not very festive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take for two sort of good-sized drinks, what we're going to need is about a 1/4 cup of our mixture. So I'm going to put that into the blender. All right, along with 4 ounces. These are pretty festive drinks. 4 ounces of bourbon. Okay. And 2 cups of hot brewed tea and 1 cup of milk. So that's going to go in the blender as well. And you want it to be nice and hot just so that the butter actually melts. So this is great. This comes from a family of what are known as nogs, and it's quite an old drink. There's actually, the first printed recipes of these drinks are from like the late 1700s, early 1800s. So they've been around for a long, long time. The most famous one is eggnog. Not everyone likes eggnog though, so this is a good alternative. I'm just going to turn this on for a sec. So what you're looking for is you want it to be nice and frothy. You want to get a nice little foam on the top of it. Okay. Take that off. Okay, and now we're going to put it in our mug. You can see it's all aerated. It looks like a cappuccino foam on the top. And I'm just going to grate some fresh nutmeg on top. And then I've got these lovely little bourbon gingerbread cookies that I'm going to garnish with. And you could use if you wanted to, you can also use a cinnamon stick or something like that. So there we have it, our festive hot buttered bourbon. Enjoy.